lovers, on the menu today a delicious Flemish stew, very popular in Belgium and the north of France. Let's have a look at our ingredients. I got about 2 kilos of beef. Choose the cheap parts of beef like chunk or lower plate. I'm going to use 5 onions. You can use any type of onions you like. Very important is the spice bread. We got some beautiful fresh thyme. We got some bay leaves too. Salted pork belly. You can also use bacon. I got 2 teaspoons of sea salt, but I'm not going to use it in the beginning. We need some butter, about 30 to 40 grams. I got a few pieces of long black pepper. You can use regular black peppercorns, and I also got 6 to 8 cloves. I'm also going to use some sugar. You can use brown sugar or cane sugar if you like. 1 liter of beer. Brown or amber beer does it very well. We're going to need about 3 tablespoons of vinegar. You can use wine vinegar. I'm going to use apple cider vinegar. About 1 liter of veal stock, and another important ingredient, Dijon mustard. But you can also use any sharp mustard you like. I'm also going to use some pork rind. This is optional, so the meat won't stick or burn on the bottom. And it's also going to give me the gelatin, what's in the rind, and that's going to give me a more creamier gravy. And I'm going to serve this Flemish stew with some chunky fries, so you also need some oil for deep frying. And it's also very nice to serve with some slices of tomatoes and some salad greens. And we're going to cut our beef in some nice chunks, about 60 to 70 grams maximum. We're going to cut the salted pork belly in nice chunks as well. We're going to cut the onions. Just cut them in half. Cut them in slices. And then again in half. The frying pan, maximum heat, and we're going to start with the pork belly. And now we've got enough fat to fry the beef on the outside. Put the butter in the pan, and we're going to put our onions in the pan. We want them to become translucent, and you can also caramelize them a little bit. The onions are good for me. I'm going to kill the heat, and I'm going to deglaze the onions with the vinegar. Three to 4 tablespoons is okay. Stir it up a little bit. I'm going to put the pork rinds on the bottom, the thyme, the bay leaves, the cloves and the long black pepper, a little bit of onions, a few pieces of bacon, a few pieces of meat, again onions, bacon, and the rest of the meat with the juices. We're going to add the sugar. In the traditional recipes they use versoise, which is the sugar from the sugar beet, but as I said earlier, you can use brown sugar or raw cane sugar as well. And we're going to add our beer, and we're going to put our veal stock. And what we're going to do now, we're going to take our spice bread and put some mustard on there. And put it on top. So as you can see, we don't use many spices in this dish because you have a lot of spices already in the spice bread. So that's going to give us a lot of flavors. We're going to set the heat on the minimum, and it's going to cook slowly for 2.5 hours. The spice bread and the mustard is going to slowly dissolve into the sauce. and that's going to give us an amazing texture and flavor, of course. If you're cooking with a clay pot, check out once in a while if your stew is not getting too dry, and add some water if needed. In the meantime, we're going to take care of our Belgian chunky fries. You can wash them once you have peeled them, but once you have cut them into fries, don't put them back in water again. We're going to cut them in nice chunky potato chips, quite jumbo size. But of course, if you prefer a smaller size of fries, that's really up to you. We're going to heat up the oil up to 160 degrees Celsius, and we're going to pre-fry our potatoes for 6 minutes. Use some paper towel to drain the fat, and after 6 minutes we're going to take our fries out. And just before serving, you just have to fry them for 3 to 4 minutes and you're done. So we're going to stir it up a little bit so the rest of our spice bread is going to melt in there as well. And by the way, we're 1.5 hours ahead. Okay guys, we're 2 hours ahead and this is going on very nice. So we're going to give it a little taste test. That is very nice, but we're going to give it a little pinch of salt. I would say about a teaspoon. We're going to let it simmer for another half an hour without the lid, so the sauce can reduce to something more thicker. So all that's left to do is finishing the fries. So we're going to heat up the oil up to 180 degrees Celsius. And here we go, just a few minutes and they are golden brown and we're ready to serve. And here we got our Flemish stew, very popular in the Netherlands, in Belgium and in the north of France. I hope you enjoyed the video and it was useful for you. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do so and hit that bell, it's a great motivation for me. And as this story ends, my dear friends, all that's left to say, bon appetit and see you back soon.